Welcome to Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. It is game one of a three-game series between the Red Sox and the New York Yankees. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. A look at the lineup, and Mike Napoli is back at first base. He's our Chevy key player to watch, and he's always done well against New York.
Yeah, it's been a tough road trip for Mike Napoli so far, but maybe the sight of pinstripes on the other side will get him going because he's always done very well in a Red Sox uniform against the New York Yankees. He's played 28 total games, a .333 average, 11 home runs, and 26 RBIs in those 28 games, and of course had a huge home run here earlier in the season for a Red Sox win. You know, Napoli so far this season has 17 home runs on the season. Those numbers would be very much higher had his finger been healthy. He's been playing with a banged-up finger all season long, and that's had to hurt his power and his potential to drive in some runs. So Napoli, hopefully seeing the other side tonight, the Yankees, where he's been very good against, will get him going on this trip.
Now, this series means a lot to the Yankees, not so much for the Red Sox, but they can play spoilers. And, of course, this season is the last season for Derek Jeter. The Red Sox will see him bat second and play at shortstop here from Yankee Stadium. First pitch coming your way next. Of New England, and by the Equalizer in theaters September the 26th. Welcome back to Yankee Stadium as the fans make their way in for game one of a three-game series between the Red Sox and the Yankees. We mentioned this is a big series for New York, as are the remainder of the series for New York. They're 8.5 games back in the AL East, and right now their thought process is about the American League wild card. And the Yankees, to start play today, 4 games back of a wild card spot. They got the Mariners in between them and are tied currently with Terry Francona's Cleveland Indians, are playing very good baseball. With more, we send it down to field level and Gary Streisky.
Yeah, Don, not too much reason for Red Sox fans to be taking a look at the division standings. If you were to take a peek, you would notice that the Red Sox are in dead last place, 19.5 games back of first place Baltimore. Now, of course, the Orioles look to be running away with the American League East, but just like you mentioned, the Yankees just 4 games back. But over the course of the next 3 games, the Red Sox hopefully can add to that number, as John Farrell explains in our Geico quote of the day.
I don't know that we look at anything surrounding a given opponent or a given series any differently than our own preparation to go out and execute as we can. We always know that there's an added level of attention given to our series. Unfortunately, we're not in a position they are, and we're gathering as much information as we can on our own guys. But that should not be, misconstrued in any way that we'll take a different approach other than to win each and every night we go on the field.
So look at 3 shots at adding to that 4-game deficit that the Yankees currently face in that wild card race tonight. Joe Kelly gets the first shot at it, looking for his first win as a member of the Boston Red Sox. His last W came July 19th when he was, of course, still a member of the St. Louis Cardinals. Don?
All right, Gary, thanks very much. The Yankees have taken the field tonight as the Yankee Stadium crowd settles in. Let's check out the visiting Red Sox starting 9. Brock Holt leads it off at second base with Mookie Betts in center field batting second as they go back and forth to the top spot again, as it is David Ortiz, the DH, batting third with Yoenis Cespedes in left. Mike Napoli at first base with Daniel Nava in right field batting sixth. Will Middlebrooks at third base with Xander Bogaerts at short batting eighth. And David Ross does the catching and bats ninth. Tonight's Yankees starting pitcher presented by your New England Nissan dealers. Shane Green on the mound. His 11th appearance, 10th start, 4-1 with a 3.09 earned run average. 55 and a third innings, 54 strikeouts. Opponents hitting at 247 against Shane Green. Last 4 starts for him, he's been very good. 2-0 with a nifty 2.42 earned run average. 30 strikeouts to 7 walks.
The Yankees defense is brought to you by People's United Bank. The Yankees are 6th in the league in defense with 75 errors on the season. Chase Headley will be at third base. Derek Jeter, the shortstop. Martin Prada at second. And Mark Teixeira, the first baseman. Left to right, Brett Gardner, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Carlos Beltran. Francisco Cervelli doing the catching for Shane Green.
Well, the umpires tonight, Tim Timmons has the plate calling the balls and strikes with Tim Welke at first base, Todd Titchener at second base, and Clint Fagan, the umpire, at third. Well, the conditions as we get it started, pretty warm in the area today in New York City. 89 degrees as we get the ball game started tonight. Breeze right to left at 10 miles per hour. And the forecast partly cloudy for the remainder of the night. Brock Holt back in his familiar leadoff spot with the exception of yesterday, as Mookie Betts slid in there for one day as a leadoff hitter for Boston. But Brock Holt back to that spot where he has been really since May the 23rd. 287, 3 homers, and 27 runs batted in for Holt. First pitch of the ball game is in there for strike one, and we're underway. Well, Shane Green getting the start tonight for New York. 10th start of the year. To left field. Gardner was shallow and in the perfect spot, as it turns out.
Now Shane Green is actually making his third appearance against the Red Sox. His first was his major league debut. That came out of the bullpen. He's had a start against the Red Sox, a no decision in that game. That was on August 2nd at Fenway Park. He only went 4 2/3 in that ball game.
Going down here in the first inning for Mookie Betts. 267, 3 homers and 9 runs batted in for Betts. Betts so far on the road trip, 8 for 27. Third city of this 3-city tour for the Red Sox. All began in Toronto, then in Tampa Bay, and now here in New York. On the ground and through the left side into left field, a base hit for Betts. So 1-out single for Mookie Betts.
Now Mookie Betts continues to swing the bat well. The ground ball between third and short for the base hit. Mentioned yesterday, batting leadoff against the left-handed pitcher. Back to the 2 spot against the right-handed pitcher tonight.
Mark Teixeira will hold him on as David Ortiz stands in. Big Papi off yesterday, back in there today. 265, 30 homers, and 95 runs batted in as he chases that 100 RBI plateau. Ortiz was 2 for 11 in the series against the 4 for 15 on the trip. Couple of days off on the trip for Big Papi. And good numbers against the Yankees over the course of his career. Played over 200 games against New York. Shift on for the Yankees on the right side as Ortiz will take ball 2.
Unusual shift, too, is the fact that they don't have everybody in the infield in a double play situation.
They leave Jeter on the left side, and they bring their third baseman Chase Headley to the right side. Joe Girardi with Martin Prado in short right field. Looking up and down this lineup, Jerry, the Yankees, you see where they are 4 games back in a wild card spot, but their averages, a lot of 240s, a lot of 250s mixed in there for New York.
Yeah, when you look across the board, you know, the numbers league-wise are very similar to the Red Sox. Offensively, the Red Sox 15th in the league in runs, the Yankees 14th in the league.
They have struggled to score runs. Had an issue, and of course, there was an issue coming into today's game whether or not Jacoby Ellsbury would be in the lineup. Joe Girardi said before the game he's going to check with him after batting practice again. Ellsbury had a ankle sprain take place in their last series against the Tigers. This will get away, and Mookie Betts will head to second base. It's ball 4 to David Ortiz.
Now, if you're going to throw ball 4, you might as well make it good. And that was ball 4 by a long margin.
So the Red Sox threaten here in the first inning with runners at first and second, 1 down, and Yoenis Cespedes. 260, 21 home runs, and 90 runs batted in. His combined numbers between Oakland and Boston. He is 9 for 28 on the trip. 23 RBIs since joining the Red Sox. They'll take strike 1. 311 with runners in scoring position on the year, but even better lately for Cespedes. That's at second. Ortiz at first with 1 down. And a swing and a miss has him down 0-2.
A couple of sliders, back-to-back sliders to Cespedes to quickly get ahead of him. No balls and 2 strikes. Very late break on that, almost like a cut fastball.
Green got called up on July the 7th from AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Napoli waiting on deck. Red Sox batting here in the top of the first inning. Cespedes grounds it foul, and it remains 0-2. Well, tonight's twisted but true fact of the game. In 28 games with Boston, Yoenis Cespedes is already tied for the team lead with 5 game-tying or go-ahead hits in the 7th inning or later. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea is the refreshing hard iced tea. Tastes like real iced tea. Be a little twisted. He's come up with some big hits since joining the Red Sox at some key times. Fouls the 0-2 pitch off to the right. Green operating at 96 miles an hour.
Now Cespedes has faced Green in the past. He's 1 for 3 against him. Nobody in the Red Sox lineup tonight has more than 3 at-bats against Green.
Defensive swing there, dropping down and fouls it back. Still 0-2.
A steady diet of breaking ball, slider again, and a good job by Cespedes just to foul that pitch off.
Green has produced 2 scoreless starts of at least 7 innings, and against Baltimore and Detroit. Yankees have won each of his last 5 starts. It's outside, 1-2. Pedroia still sidelined with the concussion-like symptoms. Sleep has been an issue for him since the injury taking place over the weekend in Tampa Bay. One of the symptoms, and continues to get checked out as time goes on. This is to left field. Gardner moving back, is going to be over his head and hit the bottom of the wall. Mookie Betts coming around to score. Big Papi to third on an RBI double for Yoenis Cespedes. The Red Sox take a 1-0 lead.
Well, finally, they're throwing something other than the breaking ball. Looked like a fastball inside that time that Cespedes cleans out. It had been slider after slider after slider. Finally, something inside and straight. And Cespedes very hard up against the wall out there in left field. Mookie Betts coming around the score. Ortiz to third. Cespedes to second.
So 1-0 Boston leads. Second and third with one down. And here is Mike Napoli. 251. 17 homers and 51 runs driven in for Napoli. Just 3 for 26 on the trip as he takes a pitch inside. But 2 of the 3 hits that Mike has on the trip are home runs. In there for a strike call, and it evens at 1-1. Napoli getting his 17th home run of the year yesterday, a solo shot at Tampa Bay. And has struggled longer than just the road trip, where he's 3 for 26. He's 3 for his last 36 overall. He'll take ball 2.
And just the opposite of what they try to do to Cespedes. They're trying to throw everything inside to Napoli.
Now they go away and it misses. 3-1. Holt lined out to left to begin the inning. Betts with a single. Ortiz a walk. And Cespedes with the RBI double off the base of the wall and left, scoring Mookie Betts. Now it's second and third with one out. Napoli will take the strike. He battles back, full count.
No fastball for Napoli on that 3-1 count either. Got the slider from Green.
David Ortiz at third. Yoenis Cespedes at second base. Napoli flips it out to center field. Ellsbury coming in to make the catch. Ortiz tagging. Ellsbury going to throw it home, but it is cut off. And Ortiz scores on the sac fly that puts the Red Sox on top 2-0.
Now the Red Sox know that Ellsbury does not have a good throwing arm, and they're going to challenge him even with David Ortiz. That ball was not hit very deep at all, but Ellsbury, not the best thrower in the world, and they're able to score Ortiz from third base on a ball where most other center fielders they wouldn't have tried it on. Ball cut off by Teixeira, no play at the plate.
So Cespedes remains at second base. They check third, appealing third. And David left on time. At 259, 2 homers and 20 runs batted in. He bats with Cespedes at second base, and now 2 down here in the top of the first inning. Now we'll take strike 1. Bravo for his last 7. Napoli picks up the RBI, and the sac fly, his 52nd RBI of the year. Fourth pitch of the inning, and it is fouled back to the screen. 1-2. Well, help NESN by taking a quick 2-minute survey and enter for a chance to win a VIP NESN experience at the ballpark in September. Visit NESN.com/survey during tonight's game for your chance to win. Red Sox off to the 2-0 advantage. They got a runner at second base. And Nava down on the count, 1-2. This one throw behind him to the backstop for ball 4. That one got away. Seen a few of those from Green. That's the second walk that he's allowed. And neither ball 4 pitch has been close. Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, headed out.
Let's see if this ball hits Nava or not. It does. It hits Nava, and that's why the runner at second base, Cespedes, did not move up. Looks like it got him on the calf, a piece of the calf muscle.
So a hit batter, and it is first and second with 2 down. Francisco Cervelli, the catcher, out there with Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach. 2 on, 2 down, and Middlebrooks coming up. Another 189 with 2 homers and 16 runs batted in. Middlebrooks 4 for 28 on the road trip. Trying to hold up, he takes, and it's called a ball. Middlebrooks 0 for his last 10 at the plate. Cervelli headed back out again to talk to Green. Well, summer is winding down, but specially priced Red Sox tickets for students are still available for every Sox game. Tickets start at just $9. So go to redsox.com/student to take advantage of this great offer today. Two on, 2 down, 2 runs in for Boston here in the first inning. Middlebrooks will take strike 1.
And that was a questionable strike on the 2-0 count.
Cespedes at second, Nav at first, 2 down. Middlebrooks will take strike 2. They're trying to minimize the damage here in the first inning, so far giving up 2 runs. 30th pitch of this first inning coming up. Full count. Runners can now get a start. As Xander Bogaerts waiting on deck here in the Boston first inning. Middlebrooks will take strike 3. Strikeout for Green does minimize the damage. Red Sox take a 2-0 lead. Yankees as we head to the bottom of the first inning. We'll check out the Yankees starting nine. Jacoby Ellsbury is in center field. Derek Jeter at shortstop at second with Brett Gardner in left. Mark Teixeira at first base in the cleanup spot with Carlos Beltran in right field. Brian McCann, the DH, with Martin Prado at second base. Chase Headley at third, bats eighth, and Francisco Cervelli does the catching. Well, tonight's Red Sox starting pitcher presented by New England Audi dealers. Experience the all-new 2015 Audi A3 today. Joe Kelly on the mound, make his sixth start in a Red Sox uniform. Still looking for that first elusive win in a Red Sox uniform. 0-1 with a 3.86 earned run average, 18 walks, 18 strikeouts, and opponents hitting at 200. Last decision was a no decision against Toronto. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. He walked 2, struck out 4. Pitching well again, enough to get a win, but could not. Jacoby Ellsbury coming back after a slightly sprained ankle in Detroit, making the start tonight and leading it off for New York. Ellsbury at 288, 14 homers and 64 runs batted in.
And he really has been hot lately. 7-game hitting streak, 15 for 31.
Talking about the Yankees' offensive struggles, not a great sign when your leadoff hitter has more RBIs than your cleanup hitter does. Cleanup hitter Mark Teixeira with 55 RBIs and Ellsbury in the top spot with 64. Strike call as he was jumping back out of the way. 1-2 the count here now to Ellsbury. Mark Teixeira really has struggled. Just a .223 batting average with a switch hitting first baseman. Ellsbury will take ball 2, 2-2. Joe Kelly, of course, in the National League was 2-2 with a 4.37 earned run average in 7 starts for the Cardinals. Line foul outside of first. Well, fans, you can test your Red Sox IQ right now at the MLB Preplay mobile app. Download for free and start predicting every at-bat of every Red Sox game all season. Tonight, Preplay predicts Joe Kelly will go 5 1/3 innings, allowing 3 earned runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, and strikeout 4. Derek Jeter on deck. Then we'll see Brett Gardner here in the bottom of the first inning. Yankees trying to answer a 2-run first by Boston. There's ball 3, full count. Walks have been an issue so far for Kelly, and he's got a full count here to the leadoff hitter. Swinging a foul tip for strike 3 as Kelly comes back to strike out Ellsbury.
Good running fastball running away from Jacoby Ellsbury, and what a nice pickup by David Ross. As he couldn't get it in the webbing of the glove, got it in the heel of the glove.
Well, the captain digging in here for the Yankees with 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. 261, 3 homers, 36 RBIs. Jeter has been struggling at the plate. He was 6 for 30 on the last road trip for New York. And questions, a lot of them for Joe Girardi, on whether or not he would drop him down in the order. Joe was asked about 7 different ways about that today.
We must be in New York.
Yes. And the answer to pretty much all the same. Who else do you want in that spot? Pitch which is going to miss, and it's 1-1.
That's like Girardi said. It's not going to be Derek Jeter that alone is going to take us to the playoffs. It's going to be everybody involved. And this guy, Girardi considers these all playoff games right now.
4 games back in the wild card to start tonight's action. They are 8.5 games back of Baltimore, and that is certainly a good distance. They do have 8 games head-to-head still with Baltimore, though. Jeter will take the strike, and it evens at 2-2. Mookie Betts into shallow right center field. Good gap out there in left center for Jeter, but his patented swing normally takes it somewhere in that general direction of the opposite field. And it grounds one right side at Brock Holt. 2 down.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They are 4th in the American League with 77 errors on the season. Will Middlebrooks at third base, Xander Bogaerts the shortstop, Brock Holt at second, Mike Napoli the first baseman, left to right, Yoenis Cespedes, Mookie Betts, and Daniel Nava, and David Ross doing the catching for Joe Kelly.
Now 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning, and it brings up Brett Gardner. Batting out of the 3 spot, hitting at .269, 16 homers, 55 runs batted in for Gardner. Single season career high with his 16 home runs. Most he had prior to this year was 8. That was last year. As he'll take the strike, and the count evens at 1-1. 55 RBIs, also a new career high for Gardner. As he bats with Mark Teixeira waiting on deck. Previous high in RBIs for Gardner was 52. That was last year. Signed a 4-year contract extension with the Yankees back in February. Extend through 2018. Club option for 2019. Takes the strike, and it's 2-2. In there for strike 3. It freezes Gardner. Second strikeout for Joe Kelly. A 1-2-3 bottom of the first.
Question, Babe Ruth excluded. Who is the greatest Yankee of all time? Sox 1 for Lou Gehrig, Sox 2, the captain Derek Jeter, Sox 3, Mickey Mantle, or Sox 4, Joe DiMaggio. Text your answer, 536-536. Message and data rates. Those may apply. Text help if you need it. Visit NESN.com/terms for all that fun legal stuff, guys.
All right, Gary, thanks very much. So it's a pretty good list, nonetheless, as we take a look at some of the not only great Yankees, but great Major League players of all time. And can't go wrong really with any of those.
Well, I always refer to Mike, our cameraman here at High Home, and he says Joe DiMaggio.
Okay.
And so I'll go with Joe DiMaggio.
I didn't have the chance to cover Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle, or Joe DiMaggio. And Jeter's certainly one of the favorites for me over the years to watch, just the way he has gone about his business here. And you just think class when you think Derek Jeter. He has done it right here with the Yankees. So many different ways, on the field, off the field. This is lined and into left field. A base hit for Xander Bogaerts to begin the second inning.
Now that's a pitch that's been giving Bogaerts problems, the breaking ball, but this time he's able to reach out and pull the breaking ball to left field for the base hit. That's the slider, that's away, but this time he's able to cover the plate, hook it, and pick up the base hit.
David Ross in the starting lineup tonight for Boston at 188, 6 homers and 14 runs batted in. Red Sox have collected 3 hits so far off Shane Green. Chopped down the third baseline foul, and it evens it 1-1. Now, for the first time ever, the purple pill is available without a prescription for frequent heartburn. Introducing Nexium 24-hour. This is Nexium Level Protection. Ross will take the 1-1 for ball 2, 2-1.
Well, being a sink-a-ball pitcher, a little extra water in front of home plate tonight as they doctored the field before the game. Try to slow up some of those ground balls.
Rolls it over foul by the Red Sox dugout and evens the count at 2-2. Ross 0 for 5 so far on the road trip. Not a great many at bats on this trip. Red Sox adding Dan Butler back to the roster today, as he was one of the call-ups. So the Red Sox now carrying 3 catchers. Vasquez doing the bulk of the catching lately. There's Dan. He's back again. 2-2 pitch is in there for strike 3. Ross knew it. Takes with him the second strikeout for Shane Green. 1 down.
That slider had David Ross jumping back from home plate. He'd seen a few fastballs before, and then they dropped the slider on him, and it almost did surprise him. Jumping back on a ball that was pretty much toward the outside corner.
1 on, 1 out. Brock Holt, the batter, lined out to left field in the first inning. Holt will take ball 2, 2-0. The same defensive alignment here with Brett Gardner relatively shallow in left, and that's where Holt hit it last time, right at him. Red Sox get a leadoff base hit by Xander Bogaerts. Strikeout of Ross, and now Holt with a count of 2-0. To right field, Beltran coming in to make the catch on the sinking liner. Soft liner at that, but Beltran gets there for the second out.
Second time Holt has hit the ball very well tonight. Once to left field line drive, once to right field a line drive, but he's 0 for 2. As Beltran makes the play coming in.
One out runner at first base. Mookie Betts a single to left field in the first, came around to score the Red Sox first run. They gathered 2 in the first. To center field. Ellsbury had started in, now goes back and makes the catch. That ends the inning. Red Sox get a leadoff single, but cannot get him to advance. It's 2-0 Boston.
Days ago, right here at Yankee Stadium, Xander Bogaerts hit his first career big league home run. He remembers that date because it's also his mother's birthday. It's also the first time he actually had a conversation on the field with his idol, Derek Jeter. He took me through the game earlier before the game. He said his first at-bat, he hit a double. He got on base. Xander Bogaerts was sitting on second base. All of a sudden, Derek Jeter comes up to congratulate him on the hit and to congratulate him on getting the call up to the big show. Of course, Xander at the time was only 20 years old. Had an exchange with him. He was telling me that what was going through his head was, oh my gosh, this is Derek Jeter. It wasn't one of those peer situations at that point because this is his idol talking to him. 2 at-bats later, he hits a home run over the starter sign in left center field. I asked him if Derek, gave him a tap on the butt or said anything as he was rounding second base, and he said Jeter was stone cold, just grilling him at that point. So, yeah, nice pleasant exchange with Xander Bogaerts and Derek Jeter. His first at-bat when he got a double, not so much when he got the home run. He was telling me it's going to be kind of weird when he comes back next season and number 2 isn't at shortstop.
Now, Xander's certainly not alone in that category. Many over the years looking up to Derek Jeter arriving here on the scene, and it will be very strange, especially coming back here to Yankee Stadium and not seeing Jeter at shortstop. And of course, he's still got to come to Fenway Park to end the season, and Mark Teixeira striking out to begin things here in the second inning. It's 3 Ks for Kelly. There's Carlos Beltran, who takes the pitch for a strike.
Right now, Kelly's fastball is moving pretty good.
Beltran at 240, 15 homers, 47 runs batted in. Grounder foul outside of first. Berkshire Bank, America's most exciting bank. Visit berkshirebank.com or one of our locations in New England and New York to discover how big bank resources combined with small bank attention can help you find your exciting moments. Life is exciting. Let Berkshire Bank help. One out here in the second inning as Beltran waits on an 0-2 pitch. In again, and it is 2-2. .258 left-handed, 207 right-handed. The home runs, pretty big differential there. As he will take strike 3. 4 strikeouts for Kelly, 3 in a row now, and Beltran not buying it. 2 down.
Now, 3 of the 4 strikeouts have been fastballs. This last one to Beltran, a changeup. And he's complaining that the ball is low. Let's take a look at the Amica pick zone. Looks like it gets enough for the bottom of the plate to call it a strike. So 3 with the fastball, 1 with the changeup.
2 down for Brian McCann. He'll take strike 1. 234 average for McCann coming in. 15 homers and 57 runs batted in. Thirteen of his 15 home runs have been here at Yankee Stadium in home games. Spent time on the 7-day concussion disabled list that he endured on a foul tip. Goes the other way. Cespedes is there to make the catch that ends the second inning. Through 2, it is 2-0 Boston. perspective from yesterday, Gary Streisky, we talked about it during the game yesterday, did not have the proper footwear for the team charter. He has sneakers on, which is not allowed on the team charter. So what we did was we got him some new-to-you used shoes to wear. And we were able to get it during the game yesterday for him to put them on before getting on the team bus and going on the charter. To his credit, he put them on, but we took care of him. Always had backups. In the air out to left fields. And back there onto the track to make the catch is Gardner. Big Poppy gives it a ride the other way with some authority, but Gardner back there to make the catch on the track.
Well, Fenway Park, you're talking about a home run. Yankee Stadium, a long out. Gardner's got the beat on it, goes back to the wall and makes the catch for the first out of the third inning. That ball hit a long way to the opposite field by David Ortiz.
One down for Big Poppy, and it brings up Yoenis Cespedes. Cespedes with an RBI double in the first inning. Now a hot shot by the dive. A Jeter into left field. Cespedes 2 for 2 on the night. Well, some hard hit balls tonight off Shane Green.
Yeah, Green's not getting the ground ball outs. I think that people expected him to early in the ball game. A lot of these pitches have been up in the zone. A fastball up that time and hit very hard again by Cespedes. Second time he's hit the ball real hard tonight against Green.
One out Cespedes at first base. Mike Napoli, the sac fly in the first inning, picking up his 52nd RBI of the year. In the dirt, and it's 2-0. Green is unbeaten in his last 6 starts, allowing 3 earned runs or fewer in each of those outings. So far in this game, giving up 2 runs, both coming in the first inning. Called a ball, and it's 3-0. Like a pretty good pitch. And hearing it from the Yankees dugout was Tim Timmons. '50th pitch for Green. And Napoli takes on the 3-0 for strike 1. Nava waiting on deck with 1 out here in the Boston 3rd inning. And Yoenis Cespedes at first base. Swing and a miss, full count.
No fastball for Napoli on the 3-1 count. Gets the slider. Green's got a good slider. It's got late movement on it, hard, and not afraid to throw it.
Runner goes on ball 4, up and in. So the second walk given up by Green. Cespedes will move to second base. Well, follow every Red Sox game through season's end with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone or tablet. Get live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, stats, live radio broadcasts, and the MLB.TV Game of the Day and more. Download At Bat on the App Store. Visit RedSox.com/mobile today. Red Sox threatening again with runners at first and second and 1 out here in the 3rd. And Daniel Nava coming up. Nava hit by a pitch in the first inning. Second start for Green against the Red Sox. Had a no decision against Boston August the 2nd at Fenway. Went 4 2/3, giving up 6 hits, 3 earned runs, a home run. Walked 2 and struck out 5. Ball and a strike now to Nava. Will Middlebrooks waiting on deck. Red Sox batting here in the top of the 3rd inning. In the air to right field for Nava, struck well. Beltran will watch this one leave. 3-run home run for Daniel Nava. Red Sox take a 5-0 lead on Nava's 3rd home run of the year.
Well, Nava gets a fastball down and in, and he just kind of gouts the ball out of the ballpark. It's only his 3rd home run of the season, but look at the location of the pitch. Down and in. They were supposed to go away with that fastball, and Nava with that uppercut swing, no question about that on contact.
Now 5-0 Red Sox as Middlebrooks, the check swing, kind of changed his mind in the middle. Alltown, New England's premier convenience retailer, is committed to supporting the communities they serve. For every home run the Red Sox hit the rest of the season, Alltown will donate $500 to Boston Children's Hospital. Visit alltown.com for an Alltown location near you. Brooks taking a pitch down and in. 3rd home run for Daniel Nava. Last year finished the year with 12 home runs. 2-2 to Middlebrooks. Now the walks have been costly for Green. He's only walked 2, but they've both turned into runs. And there is strike 3 to Middlebrooks, who strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. 2 down.
That 2nd time he's gone down on the slider. First time was an inside slider. This time away from Middlebrooks.
Now the pitching line is brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. 2 2/3, 5 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. And Xander Bogaerts swinging at the first pitch, flies one out towards right center field. On the run is Ellsbury under the track at the wall. It's gone. That just kept carrying out of here. Ends up in the bullpen. Xander Bogaerts with his 9th home run of the year. The Red Sox take a 6-0 lead.
Now that's the part of the ballpark out there that the ball really carries, especially in warm weather. And I didn't think when this ball was made contact with, it had enough on it to get out of the ballpark. Then I just kept seeing the back of Jacoby Ellsbury's back. The next thing you know, it's gone.
So 2 home runs in the inning, a 3-run shot, a solo shot. And now David Ross takes strike 1. Ishmael Rogers, a right-hander, up in the pen. First action here for New York is Green, so far giving up 4 quick runs here in the 3rd. Ball and a strike. This one fouled off the catcher, Francisco Cervelli. 9th home run of the year for Xander Bogaerts. Already on the phone to check on Ishmael Rogers in the pen. Not the way he wanted to get this Red Sox series started. There's ball 4, and down to first base goes Ross, so he walks the number 9 man. Third walk given up by Green, and that'll be it. Joe Girardi out to make the move here on Shane Green, who's pitched so well for the Yankees. But tonight the Red Sox get to him. A 6-0 Boston lead. The pitching change from Yankee Stadium. Labels from WB Mason are built to withstand the extreme elements. Avoid Mother Nature's smudges and smears and trust only Avery labels with your most essential shipments. From Hooba WB Mason. Now Shane Green, a tough outing, maybe his toughest of the year, lasting just 2 2/3 innings, giving up 6 runs so far. He's responsible for the runner at first. His call to the bullpen is brought to you by your local New England Ford dealers. Ismael Rogers into the game, his 24th of the year, 2-0 with a 5.09 earned run average. Opponent's hitting at 268 against him, and Brock Holt grounds one to first. Teixeira's got it. He's got to hurry, and he dives to the bag as Rogers a little late coming off the mound. Well, big inning for the Red Sox as Daniel Nava hits a 3-run home run. Xander Bogaerts with a solo shot. It's 6-0 Boston. For Red Sox Final presented by Esurance. Send your questions to TC at hashtag Sox Final. Maybe yours will be answered on the Red Sox Final presented by Esurance. A couple of home runs for the Red Sox, part of a 4-run third inning. Nava's 3-run shot. Bogarts with a solo home run, and it's on to the bottom of the third inning we go. Joe Kelly has looked very good on the mound so far through the first 2 innings. Has 4 strikeouts of the first 6 batters that he has faced. Martin Prado to lead it off here for New York.
Prado, one of 2 hitters in this lineup that have faced Kelly in the past, McCann being the other. Prado 2 for 4 with a home run against Kelly.
Grounds one softly down the third baseline. That'll go foul. Attention Red Sox Nation, there's a reason why the Boston Red Sox and the rest of America run on Dunkin', because our coffee is consistently smooth and delicious. Dunkin' Donuts coffee started in Boston and is the #1 coffee in New England. So when you want the best coffee in town, there's only one choice: Dunkin' Donuts. The Boston Red Sox run on Dunkin'. Ball and a strike to Martin Prado. In the air to left, struck well. Cespedes will watch this go. Prado with his 5th home run of the year, and the Yankees start to chip away. First hit of the night's a solo home run by Martin Prado.
Well, making 3 for 5 against Kelly in his career now with 2 home runs. Talked about Kelly's fastball in the first 2 innings. They've been very good. This one stays up in the zone, though, and in middle in. And Prado takes it out of the ballpark for the home run.
So the Yankees on the board now. Chase Headley, the batter. Headley grounds one. Shift is on. It's Middlebrooks, the third baseman, who throws him out for the first out of the inning. Bring up Francisco Cervelli. 284 hitter on the year. 2 homers and 10 runs batted in for the Yankees catcher. Had his hamstring strain earlier this year. Was out from April until mid-June. Grade 2 right hamstring strain, 60-day DL at one point. That's with 1 out, bases empty. To short and Xander Bogaerts. 2 down. After the home run by Prado, Kelly able to bounce back and get 2 ground ball outs.
That's a good sign, getting the ball back down in the strike zone.
2 down, Jacoby Ellsbury coming up. A strikeout victim in the first, one of 4 Ks so far for Joe Kelly tonight. Ellsbury has been hitting very well, especially at home. Last 13 home games, hitting at .432. And in 61 games at Yankee Stadium this season, hitting at .332. They will take the strike, 1-1. North signed a 7-year contract. December the 7th of this past offseason. Extends through 2020 with a club option for 2021. Grounder to first base. Napoli's got it. He'll tag the bag, and that'll end the inning. Leadoff home run by Martin Prado has the Yankees on the board, but it's 6-1 Boston. our economy and community strong. That's why they've been named the #1 SBA lender in Massachusetts 5 years in a row. Eastern Bank, here you're first. Six to 1. Red Sox have the lead over the Yankees. Ishmael Rogers back on the mound. Got the final out of the third inning and starts this top of the fourth. Mookie Betts, David Ortiz, Yoenis Cespedes. And a fly ball to left field, sending Brett Gardner back. He will watch that go. Mookie Betts joining the fun with a home run of his own. Red Sox get their third home run of the night. Solo shot to left, and they get their 6-run lead back. It's 7-1 Boston.
Don, I've been talking about the quick hands of Mookie Betts since he's been up in the big leagues, and I'll tell you what, he continues to impress every single game that he plays. He takes that fastball in very quick to the baseball. Again, not a huge guy, but very quick hands, good bat speed, and a home run.
David Ortiz takes the strike. Alltown, New England's premier convenience retailers, committed to supporting the communities they serve. For every home run the Red Sox hit the rest of the season, Alltown will donate $500 to Boston Children's Hospital. Visit alltown.com for an Alltown location near you. Mookie Betts, 2-hit night tonight, a single, and now a home run. I guess we're expecting to learn a lot in September about what next year's team will look like. You got to think this guy could be a big part of it moving forward. He's a keeper.
You would think so, Don. I mean, the way he's played, he's come up here and he's played like he belongs here. And the way he swings the bat, the way he plays defense, the way he runs, there's nothing not to like about him so far since being up here. Doesn't strike out a lot, makes contact.
And only going to get better the more he plays in the outfield and gets comfortable out where he is now in center field.
There's a log jam of outfielders.
Yes.
But God, that could change in one trade.
Two is ball three, full count. Action in the Yankees pen. Ishmael Rogers out there after the Yankees starter goes just 2 2/3 innings. Ortiz out to left center field. Ellsbury coming over to make the catch in front of Gardner for the first out of the inning. One out here in the fourth inning, and Yoenis Cespedes coming up. Cespedes 2 for 2 on the night, a double in the first inning to drive in a run, then a single to left field in the third. And Cespedes will take strike one. Rogers claimed off waivers from the Yankees from Toronto July the 31st as that pitch rushes back Cespedes. Ishmael Rogers with Toronto earlier this year, both at AAA and in the majors, spending the bulk of the year really at the Blue Jays AAA side in Buffalo. Goes around, says home plate umpire Tim Timmons. Ishmael Rogers spending parts of 6 major league seasons between Colorado, Cleveland, Toronto, and now the Yankees. Originally signed by Colorado as a minor league free agent in July of 2003. And you may recall, while he was a member of the Cleveland Indians, he threw the pitch to Will Middlebrooks that fractured his wrist. This is in the air to right field. Carlos Beltran waiting. 2 down in the inning. Tomorrow on NESN Live, presented by Cross Insurance, Sarah Davis and Elle Duncan will look ahead to the Patriots season opener and break down the people you can expect to meet at your fantasy football draft. That's tomorrow at 5:30 on NESN.
One thing that's going to be interesting this last month, Don, is that we get to see obviously a lot of the East, which we haven't seen for a while, and you know, really kind of pick apart these clubs a little bit on why they are where they are. And you know, we saw Toronto on this trip, and you know, they are nowhere near what they were a couple of months ago, and certainly Tampa out of it. The Yankees still in it, but when you look at the lineup, it's all not that impressive, you know. So and then of course we're going to get to see Baltimore again, who's just about running away with everything. So it's kind of interesting how quickly things change, because we were talking 2 months ago how, oh, this thing's going to go right down to the wire, and look at the difference now.
Yeah, the Blue Jays are finally doing what they were supposed to be doing last year. 1-1 pitch. And that'll miss for ball 2.
Been on the road so long, I almost forgot we were in Toronto.
That's where this thing started, Jerry.
Yes.
Napoli will take a ball just low. They shift on the left side of the infield. Napoli will take ball 4 and head on down to first base. First walk given up by Rogers. It is the 4th walk allowed by Yankees pitching. Now tune into Red Sox Friday Night Fenway, presented by Budweiser, Friday at 5:30. Be sure to visit Sweet Caroline's before every Red Sox game in September. Fans 21 and over can participate. Budweiser, great times are waiting. Grab some buds. 2 outs, Mike Napoli at first base, and Daniel Nava, the batter. Hit by a pitch and then hit a 3-run home run. For Nava, his 3rd home run of the year, and a 3-run shot. It's just 2-0 at this point.
Mistakes in location don't always hurt you, but that time it did. As that fastball was supposed to be away, it stayed inside, and Nava lost it.
Now he lines it into right field for a base hit. Napoli will touch second, head for third. Beltran will throw it back into second base, and Red Sox have something going now with 2 outs. 3rd time Nava's been on, and it's 1st and 3rd with 2 down.
Now, Nava's average should be over 260 now, and that's quite a comeback from where he was earlier in the season with a lot of at-bats. That went a little bit toward the end of the bat as he pulls it out into right field for the base hit. Good base running by Napoli. He goes 1st to 3rd.
Runners at the corners, 2 down, a run in, and here's Will Middlebrooks. 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out looking twice. He'll take strike 1. Line to left. Gardner coming in to make the catch. Ends the inning, but a home run begins the inning. Mookie Betts with his 4th home run of the year as the Red Sox on top 7-1. Joe Kelly back on the mound. The run he's given up, the solo home run by Martin Prado in the 3rd. Derek Jeter leading it off here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And he takes strike 1. Let's take a closer look at Derek Jeter's career with the Yankees. Where does he rank? First in games, first in hits, first in doubles, first in steals, and 2nd in runs. In fact, the only Yankee ever 3,000 hits. Closer look brought to you by FW Web. For an even closer look, visit FWWeb.com. Jeter fouls it off, down 0-2. It's part of our Scion poll tonight, too. That's pretty close. Jeter ahead right now. 0-2 pitch is outside for ball 1. On the ground right side, Holt to his left for the first out of the inning. From technologies that make your life easier to people who care about your community, Eastern Bank is committed to putting you first. Learn all the ways Eastern puts you first at easternbank.com. There's so much history here at the new Yankee Stadium of the old Yankee Stadium. Littered throughout this entire ballpark, on the walls and everywhere else. As Brett Gardner, with 1 out here in the inning, gets a second look at Joe Kelly. Kelly so far with 4 strikeouts and 5 ground ball outs. Only 1 out in the air. This one fouled off to the left, 1-1. Did you know Fenway Park hosts more than just Red Sox games, sporting events, and concerts? Fenway Park has a variety of unique spaces to host your next holiday party, meeting, or special family event. Visit redsox.com/events or call 617-226-6791 to book your Fenway Park event today. Teixeira waiting on deck. Strike called as Gardner kind of drops the shoulders. He didn't think so. 2-2.
I didn't think so because that was a nasty pitch by Kelly. That sinking fastball again down and away from the left-handed hitter.
Swing and a miss. Got away briefly from Ross, so he's got to clear the runner and throw him out. That is the 5th strikeout for Kelly, and the 2nd time Gardner is down by way of the K.
He got Gardner on a fastball back in the 1st inning. This time he gets him on the curveball. After painting the outside corner with a fastball, it's back inside with the curveball, and no contact by Gardner.
Meek Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance. 2 down in the 4th inning for Mark Teixeira. He'll take strike 1. Red Sox enter the shift, and they bring their 3rd baseman to the right side, Will Middlebrooks. Brock Holt out there in what I would consider medium depth right field. He is pretty deep. Former Red Sox sidewinder Rich Hill in the bullpen. The lefty is up. Joe Girardi trying to piece together the remainder of this game. His starter, Shane Green, who's been so good for New York, just goes 2 2/3 innings in tonight's game. Fly ball to center field. Struck pretty well. Betts going back onto the track. He'll leap and make the catch. Banging up against the wall. Mookie Betts making the grab. Well, Joe Kelly certainly appreciative of the effort of Mookie Betts. 7-1 Boston at the end of 4. A little help from his friends. Mookie Betts reliving the catch out there in center field that ended last inning. As we play on to the top of the 5th inning, Xander Bogaerts leading it off.
Well, I didn't think he was going to have time to turn around and make this catch, but he certainly does, and then crashes into the wall. Holds on to the baseball, shows it to the umpire. And a long way to go to make that play with great concentration.
Well, 2 for 3 in the game offensively, including a solo home run. And now he's got a little defense to add to his resume tonight. Bogaerts down on the count, 1-2. Fouled off to the right, out of play. Sanders had a pretty good night himself. Single to left in the second, a home run, a solo shot in the third. Boston with 3 home runs in this game. Now down the left field line for Bogaerts. That ball is going to be off the bottom of the wall. Xander thinking too. The throw from left from Gardner is not going to be in time, and Bogaerts has himself a double, his 3rd hit of the night.
Now that's the 2nd time tonight he's gone in that direction on a breaking ball. See, that slider's going to stay out over the plate, and Bogaerts stays right on it and pulls it to left field. 2nd time he's done it. Did it back in the 2nd inning tonight on a slider, and again here in the 5th. To go along with the home run, that was a fastball.
Red Sox now hitting the Yankees 9-1. Leadoff double for Bogaerts opens up the 5th inning. And now David Ross.
It's a good sign for Xander Bogaerts too, Don. The fact that that's a pitch that he was having so much trouble with, those breaking balls, and even if it's way, I still think he had the plate coverage to make good solid contact on those two.
Inside, and it's now 2-1. Ross struck out looking in the 2nd, reached on a walk in the 3rd. First time that he's faced Rogers as Rich Hill continues to warm in the Yankees pen. Inside, and Ross almost had that one graze him on the way by. Foul, backhand, out of play. Full count. Well, don't miss tomorrow's Bruins Summer Face-Off Live, featuring a breakdown of the Atlantic Division's Detroit Red Wings. Plus, check out the Bruins' depth and defense and hear what fans have to say in the Bruins Fan Analyst segment. Catch all that and more tomorrow at 5 on Bruins Face-Off Live. Bogaerts to the leadoff double to begin things in the 5th inning. David Ross with a full count of 3-2. And a swing and a miss. Ross strikes out on the high fastball. 2nd time he has struck out in the game. 1 down.
Now, first time it was on the breaking ball, this time on the fastball, and here comes Joe Girardi.
Rich Hill warming in the pen. Red Sox have a 7-1 lead. The pitching change from Yankee Stadium. Toyota's website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, where the Red Sox have a 7-1 lead with one out here in the top half of the fifth inning. Runner at second base, and Ishmael Rogers comes out of the game after an inning and 2/3. Still responsible for Bogarts at second base. And old friend Rich Hill into the game now for New York. Called up today. Combined numbers with LA and New York in 8 games. 3.86 earned run average. 4 walks, 2 Ks. Opponents hitting at .333 against Hill. Brock Holt, the batter, with one out. Bogarts at second base. In there for a strike.
Rich Hill with that drop down a side delivery.
That one in tight at 90 miles an hour. Yankees with a series of call-ups today. Here's another one. Chaz Rowe joining the club today. Up high for ball 2. Holt's 0 for 3 in the game. He's lined out to left, lined out to right, and grounded out to first base. Mookie Betts on deck, one out, runner at second in the Boston 5th. Sean Green, the starter tonight for New York, tagged for 6 runs in 2 2/3 innings. Ishmael Rogers inning and 2/3. And so far has given up only the 1 run, the home run by Betts. He's responsible for Bogarts at second as it is fouled off by Brock Holt. Full count.
Don, your feelings about the expanding the roster to 40 men?
Hate it.
I don't like it either.
You play under one set of rules for 5 months, and then you change the rules for the last month of this.
I think it's absolutely crazy. Like tonight's a great example. Girardi can go through a bunch of pitches that he's probably not going to use in a game that's on the line.
Right.
And it's not going to hurt his bullpen at all.
At all. They're all ready to go tomorrow. In there for strike 3. Holt knew it, and he takes with him the first strikeout for Rich Hill. 2 down.
It just doesn't make any sense to me, and it never did. And I could see maybe going to 30 guys and keep and having to name 25 to play in the game. I can understand that.
Yeah, I think your roster size should be the same all year long.
All year long.
I agree with you, though. That's not a bad idea. It's kind of like hockey with your healthy scratches.
Yeah.
You have 30 guys, but you can only dress 25.
Exactly right. And preparation-wise, for the opposition, it's much easier to prepare that way than it is for 35 guys.
The Yankees with a host of guys coming up. Of course, the Red Sox will have more. They've added a few since September the 1st yesterday, but they'll add more once the Pawtucket Red Sox are done. They have punched their ticket to the postseason. Congratulations to the Paw Sox and so many levels of the Red Sox organization heading to postseason play. So that's good news. And there'll be more to follow here as far as call-ups go for Boston. One pitch to Mookie Betts. Inside for ball 2. That's with a single in the first. He flied out to center in the second for his solo home run in the 4th inning. His 4th home run of his major league career. Hill falling behind 3-1. David Ortiz on deck. David does not have a hit tonight of the 9 the Red Sox have put together. Strike called. Full count. To right field, and that's in for a base hit. Bogarts to be held up as the throw is cut off, and it is now 1st and 3rd with 2 down. Base hit for Betts, his 3rd hit of the night.
Now that's the kind of at bat you like to see too. You know, he hits a home run on a fastball in his last at bat in the 4th inning. Then he gets up here in the 5th and takes a hanging breaking ball right there, and not trying to hit a home run, just taking it to the opposite field for a base hit. That's just nice hitting by Betts.
First and 3rd, 2 down. David Ortiz coming up. David walked and scored in the 1st inning. Since then, he flied out to the warning track in left and flied out to center his last time up. Never easy to face Rich Hill if you're a left-handed batter.
It's tough. You almost have to look out towards second where the second baseman is playing to pick up where the ball's coming out of his hand. That's how much he drops down to the side.
Let's take a look at tonight's list brought to you by Benjamin Moore. Active home run leaders versus the Yankees. Big Papi's #1. At 42, even though he's a Yankee now. Alex Rodriguez had 28. Evan Longoria 26. Jose Bautista 24. And Paul Konerko with 23. If you have a comment about tonight's list, tweet us at #NessenList. Ortiz pops it up. Foul ground. Chase Headley hitting over, but he won't have a play. Send it down to Gary.
Guys, this interesting note, thanks to John Shestakovsky with Red Sox PR. It was 17 years ago tonight that David Ortiz made his big league debut, of course, as a member of the Minnesota Twins. Just one of 11 players active as of right now who made their big league debut as early as 1997. Another guy on that list actually playing shortstop right now. Derek Jeter made his big league debut in May of 1995.
A long time ago. Both have endured here throughout the years and been very good players throughout the years. Have to be good to hang around. Longevity just doesn't happen if you're not too good.
Now you better be pretty good, and you better be able to stay healthy too.
Hill wanted it. Close pitch. Call the ball. 2-2.
Being on the amount of championship teams those players have been on, it's been keeps you around a while too. You get the taste for it.
Swing and a miss. Ortiz strikes out. Red Sox leave 2 men on, but lead it 7-1. the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag #NESSANFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in our broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Tonight's fan photo is from Brad D. He and his family recently came in from Katy, Texas to take in their first Red Sox game. I wonder if they became Red Sox fans because of a former famous pitcher from Katy, Texas, and Roger Clemens. Joe Kelly back on the mound again here for the bottom of the 5th inning. He's given up 1 hit. It was a home run by Martin Prado in the 3rd. And this has been the best we have seen Joe Kelly this season. He has looked terrific. His line is brought to you by Ace Ticket. 4 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, no walks, 5 Ks. So on 51 pitches to this point. Carlos Beltran will send it up the middle into center field for a base hit. Ace Ticket, the official Red Sox ticket partner, has the best seats at the lowest prices to all the games at Fenway. All the 200% guarantee. Right now, Ace Ticket has special savings on all Red Sox games. Treat yourself or someone special. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. Brian McCann lined out to left field in the 2nd inning in his first at bat, 0 for 1. Tries to bunt his way on, and he will. Big shift on for him, so just drops it down the 3rd baseline. Yankees need base runners, and they have 2.
Yeah, and that's a perfect way to get one, too. When they're in the shift, there's nobody down on the 3rd base side. You don't have to make a good bunt, just get it down on the ground, and you got yourself a base hit.
First and second, nobody out. Martin Prado, who hit the home run off Joe Kelly in the 3rd inning. Out to talk to Kelly. Martin Prado acquired by the Yankees from Arizona, the trade deadline. Sitting at .270 with Arizona this year in 106 games prior to the trade. Leaguer Pete O'Brien went the other way to Arizona in cash considerations. He bats with Beltran at second base, McCann at first, nobody out of the Yankees' 5th inning. In the air to left field. Cespedes going back and can't catch it. It's up over his head and off the wall and a hop. As hung up between first and second is Prado, and they're going to get an out on this as he gets into no man's land. He looked up and he will be out. Runners will be at 2nd and 3rd. Prado was headed to 2nd, but McCann was standing there on the bag as Beltran only got to 3rd. They thought Cespedes may make that catch. They had to wait. They run into an out.
First of all, I thought for sure Cespedes was going to make that catch. It looked like if he put his glove up, and he may have, but he did not. It gets over his head, and I think it surprised all the Yankee base runners. Cespedes going back, doesn't put the glove up, and the ball gets up over his head. And I think that's what surprised everybody else. Certainly it did Prado. He's at second base. All of a sudden he looks and there's another guy there. McCann. So that became a total mess.
So there's a single for Prado. And it is now 2nd and 3rd with 1 out of the inning. Chase Headley, the batter. Grounded out to third base, first time up 0 for 1.
You'll see all the runners right here on this play. McCann's going to second base, but Beltran's going back to tag up. He goes to third base. Prada's caught in the rundown.
Prada almost touched the runner at second base.
He almost went around him, yes, which he would have been out anyway.
I mean, he is looking at that ball in left field and not what is in front of him.
Yeah, and he's going, what are you guys doing? Somebody's going to score on that.
But I really thought Cespedes was going to catch that.
I did too.
So instead, nobody scores. There's an out, second and third. Now Kelly has fallen behind Chase Headley, 3-0. There's ball 4. Bases loaded. Just the first walk of the night given up by Joe Kelly. One out, bases loaded. Francisco Cervelli coming up. Cervelli grounded out to shortstop in the third inning, 0 for 1. Bases loaded. Cervelli has a grand slam to his credit. .393 average. Take ball 1. Close pitch.
That's a good pitch right there by Kelly. Should have been strike 1. Breaking ball on the outside part of the plate, knee high.
Fouled it off himself, and it's a ball and a strike now to Cervelli. Help NESN by taking a quick 2-minute survey and enter for a chance to win a VIP NESN experience at the ballpark in September. Visit NESN.com/survey during tonight's game for your chance to win. Cervelli's always hit the Red Sox well. 24 career games against Boston, a .339 average. Ball 2. Ball 3. No place to put Cervelli here. Bases filled with the Yankees with one out in the 5th. Cervelli will take ball 4, and that'll bring in a run. Back-to-back walks by Joe Kelly. Walks the 8-9 men in the Yankees order. Juan Nieves to the mound.
Not just when we're talking about how well Kelly was pitching this ball game tonight. He hung a breaking ball for all us to get started. To Beltran, he gets a base hit. The bunt base hit. The messed up play by Cespedes in left field, and then back-to-back walks.
Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox, now offers walk-in urgent care in Chestnut Hill. It's open 10 hours a day for minor emergencies. For more information, go to bidmc.org/Chestnut Hill. Bases loaded for New York again. A run in. Jacoby Ellsbury coming up. Ball one. .309 hitter with the bases loaded. Has never had a grand slam. Can at third. Headley at second. Cervelli at first. Swing and a miss. 94 on the fastball, and it was moving.
Keeping the ball away from Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury trying to hit a home run right now when the bases loaded.
Fouls it off himself all the way out to Mike Napoli at first.
It's a pretty good sized shin guard, and he's good on there. Covering his foot, ankle, shin.
Ellsbury lines to short for the out there and trying to dive towards the runner was Bogaerts, trying to double him off. They get the out for the second out of the inning on the liner from Jacoby Ellsbury to Bogaerts, 2 down.
Yeah, Bogaerts looking to Brock Hope, but there's no way Hope could get there in time. So Bogaerts tries with the dive. Nobody else far enough off the bag to make a throw, and nice effort by Bogaerts.
Derek Jeter with the bases loaded and 2 down here in the Yankees' 5th inning. Jeter, it's a ground ball, shortstop way. Bogaerts going to first, and it'll be in time. Jeter is out at first base, and that'll end the inning. They will perhaps challenge this as out comes Joe Girardi. Red Sox stopping as they were headed off the field.
Take another look at first base. Did Jeter beat it? He might have had the front of that bag. I think he did, Don.
They're going to challenge it. I know from first look it looked like he was safe, I thought, from up here.
From up here, yeah. And then first look at replay, I thought he was safe also. I thought that his foot got to the bag first.
Crowd seeing it here on the big screen at center. Yeah, there's no doubt. They got a great shot here in center field.
And Red Sox are heading back to their positions already.
Safe. So Derek Jeter is safe. Run scores as McCann comes in from third base, and the bases are reloaded again. An infield hit and an RBI, 37th of the year for Jeter. And it's now 7-3. Now Brett Gardner with a chance. Gardner has struck out twice, once looking, once swinging. Strike one. Gardner has not been happy with Tim Timmons, home plate umpire tonight. 5 for 14 this year with the bases loaded. Does have a grand slam. Two and one. Kelly cruising through the first 4 innings. We're running into trouble here in the 5th. He's not out of it yet. Gardner's the 8th batter that he's faced of the inning. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2.
It's him on a changeup right there. 2 balls, 1 strike. Gardner's certainly in fastball mode. Instead, he gets the changeup.
Mark Teixeira on deck. Two pitch. And Gardner will strike out, the bases loaded. He's going to get tossed from this game. He has not been happy with Tim Timmons all night. It's the 3rd time that he has struck out, and now he's ejected. 7-3 Red Sox. Tim has become honorary chairman of the Red Sox Foundation, which runs the Red Sox Scholars and the Home Base program, as well as help fight children's cancer at the Jimmy Fund. Congratulations to Tim Wakefield. Always all heart. 7-3, Red Sox have the lead over the Yankees, and Brett Gardner ejected from this game on a ball that was not a strike.
Well, you can see why he's upset. I mean, not one pitch in that sequence was a strike. And he's had problems tonight with Timmons, and he finally had enough.
13, Prado has now moved to left field. And Stephen Drew comes in at second base. The pitcher is Adam Warren. 60th appearance, 2-5 with a 3.39 earned run average. 59 Ks, 22 walks. Cespedes leads it off for Boston here in the top half of the 6th inning. Pitch for a strike, and it's 1-1. Warren taking over for Rich Hill, went 2/3 of an inning, giving up a hit, no runs. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 2. He got Holt and Ortiz on the strikeouts. Warren has, in the last 5 appearances, given up a walk and 4 Ks, only 1 earned run. High for ball 2, 2-2. It is Cespedes, Napoli, and Nava anticipated here in the 6th inning, and it was a 4-run Red Sox lead right now. Shift on the left side of the Yankees infield here on Cespedes. Foul back. 7th pitch of the at bat coming up here for Cespedes. Yankee starter Shane Green on the hook. He lasted just 2 2/3 innings, giving up 6 runs. Ishmael Rogers allowed a run in his inning in 2/3. Since then, we've seen Rich Hill and now Adam Warren. Cespedes will foul off another. Want an easy way to pay for your Dunkin' Donuts? Download Dunkin's free mobile app. With the app, you can load a DD card, pay right from your phone, receive exclusive mobile offers, enroll in auto recharge, and instantly send DD gift cards. Message and data rates may apply. For full terms of use, visit DunkinDonuts.com. Red Sox Nation runs on Dunkin'. 2-2 pitch to Cespedes. Fouled off again. We'll see a 10th pitch in this at bat.
Good long at bat put on here by Cespedes, fouling off fastball, sliders.
Fights off another one. That one biting in on him. Fly ball to center field. Ellsbury waiting, and lengthy at bat, but Adam Warren wins the battle. Time for an Essence Sports Today update. Back here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, where the Red Sox have a 7-3 lead. One out in the top of the 6th inning. Mike Napoli, the batter. Napoli will take strike one. And a sac fly in the 1st inning. Picked up his 52nd RBI of the year. Walked and scored in the 3rd. Walked in the 4th inning. Warren last pitching on Friday as part of a win at Toronto. That'll straighten him up. Pitch up and in at 95.
Yeah, very good velocity does Warren have to go along with that slide at 95, 96 at times, and that's just missing the elbow in Napoli.
He picks up a strike, 2-2.
After the fastball in, back to the slider away.
Swing and a miss. Fastball away at 96 miles an hour. 2 down.
That's some pretty nice pitching right there by Warren. Going inside, outside with the fastball, mixing in the breaking ball, and getting kind of a feeble swing by Napoli there, just trying to foul that ball off with 2 strikes.
Two down for Daniel Nava, hit by a pitch, homered, a 3-run home run in the 3rd, and then singled to right in the 4th inning, and on base 3 times. As he takes strike one. Gets Cespedes to fly out finally to center field after a long at bat, and he strikes out Mike Napoli for the first 2 outs here of the 6th inning. Swing and a miss.
Well, something different there, a little wrinkle, throws the changeup to Nava. And in a good spot, the outside part of the plate.
Nava with a swing and a miss for strike 3. Warren gets through the 6th at 7-3 Boston. have the lead over the Yankees. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning back at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. As Mark Teixeira leads it off here. Red Sox into the shift. On the right side on the Yankees first baseman, who takes ball 1. Shift has Holt out to short right. Middlebrooks, the third baseman, on the right side of the infield. Teixeira fouls it off. Looking for the best deal on tires? There is only one place to go. Town Fair Tire. The best prices and great free services, because nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Teixeira 0 for 2 in the game. He struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. Flied out to the Warren Chakin center. Nice catch by Mookie Betts. Back by the 385 marker in right center field. Now a pop-up right side of the infield. Napoli and Middlebrooks, and Napoli calls and makes the catch for the first out of the 6th inning. It's time for a Toyota Game Break with Tom Caron. TC. All right, Tom, thanks very much. Back here at Yankee Stadium, Red Sox have a 7-3 lead. Carlos Beltran, the batter. A shift on for the Red Sox. A little different, though. They leave Middlebrooks on the left side and bring Bogarts to the right side. And they're all tight to the infield here on Beltran. Popped up foul off to the left, out of play.
Now they got me on this one. I have no idea why they don't have Holt back on the grass.
I was going to ask you that, but
yeah, it's believe me, I've been thinking about it. What is the difference?
you'd understand it if there was somebody at first. You had a base runner,
or if you had a very speedy runner at the plate, I could understand it. Put that at my bucket list to check out tomorrow.
I wouldn't waste your bucket list on that.
No,
that's something else. Two balls, 2 strikes here to Beltran. Bounce in for ball 3. Kelly had not walked anybody through the first 4 innings, but then walked the 8-9 men in the 5th inning. 6 strikeouts in the game. The 2 walks, as 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Brian McCann on deck. And there's ball 4, speaking of walks, and 1 out walk. Well, for every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Sox get a save, CVS Pharmacy make a donation to Boston Children's Hospital towards a $25,000 donation once again this season. CVS Pharmacy, the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. 1 out, Carlos Beltran at first base and Brian McCann the batter. Now they shift with Middlebrooks on the right side of the infield.
This one I can explain because they want to keep the double play combination together of Holt and Bogarts. And they're not deep because it is a double play situation.
Strike 2. One of the ideas that I've heard tossed around as far as different things about baseball moving forward is forbidding shifting of any kind. What do you think of that?
I don't agree with that. I mean, put your fielders any way you want as long as they're in fair territory.
I think it takes away from the game at all.
No, I don't think so. I think I think all the information they have available to them today is the reason they're doing all this. And I think it takes away from offense. There's no question about
that's
that.
Part of the concern that there isn't enough offense.
There's a lot of other things I do before eliminating a shift.
Martin Prado waiting on deck as Brian McCann bats here. 1 out. Beltran at first base. Inside out swing and foul. 2-2. On the ground left side, Bogaerts will go to second for 1, on to first for 2. So the alignment works out with Bogaerts on the left side. They do turn the double play through 6-7-3 Boston. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Back in New York City, where the Red Sox played the first of 3. 7-3 on top of the Yankees. Into the 7th inning we go, and Will Middlebrooks leads it off and takes strike 1. Will's 0 for 3. He struck out in the first, struck out in the third, lined out to left in the 4th inning. Don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live, presented by DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union, tomorrow at 6:30. TC and Jim Rice look at the wild card races and preview Rusney Castillo's game with Portland. DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? A little bit low for ball 1, 1-2. More action for the Yankees. The left-hander David Huff warming. Middlebrooks takes strike 3 again.
3 times tonight he struck out, 3 times on a slider. Twice early in the game, and now Warren gets him on a slider.
Xander Bogaerts singled, homered, and doubled, and now drives one to left center. Will stay in the yard. Back goes Prado. Makes the catch for the second out of the 7th inning. As we all know, a happy staff equals a productive staff. There's no better way to show your employees a good time than treating them to a night at Fenway Park. Go to redsox.com/groups to book your company outing now. Two outs in the 7th for David Ross. Ross struck out in the 2nd. He walked in the 3rd, struck out in the 5th. Swing and a miss, and it's a ball and a strike to David Ross. In there for a strike, 1-2. Second inning of relief for Adam Warren. He's looked very good.
He's exactly what Joe Girardi needs. Keep the Red Sox off the board.
Ross will stay alive, fouling it off to the right out of play. Down low, 2-2. In the year to left field, Martin Prado will make his way in. And Adam Warren retires all 6 Red Sox that he faces in the middle of this game. 7-3 Boston. Joe Kelly has pitched well tonight for the Red Sox. Had some help behind him, too.
The only time he's got himself in trouble is when he's walked people in this ball game. But overall, his fastball with good movement on it tonight. He's thrown some pretty good breaking balls. Has another good fastball down in his own. Double play to end the last inning, the 6-4-3. And overall, a pretty good outing for Kelly tonight.
The game summary brought to you by Xfinity. Look at his numbers. 6 innings so far, 3 runs on 5 hits. Daniel Nava 2 for 3 with a 3-run home run. Mookie Betts 3 for 4 with a solo home run. Xander Bogaerts also has a home run. The other side, Red Sox chase Shane Green from this game after just 2 2/3 innings, giving up 6 earned runs. He's on the hook right now with the Red Sox on top 7-3. Action in the Red Sox bullpen for the first time tonight behind Joe Kelly, and it's the left-hander Tommy Lamb. Martin Prado, Chase Headley, and Francisco Cervelli coming up here in the bottom of the 7th. Here is tonight's Coors Timeless Moment on this date in 2001. Yankees pitcher Mike Mussina was 1 strike away from a perfect game when he gave up a single to Carl Everett, of course, at Fenway Park. Mussina would settle for his 4th career one-hitter. And again, Mike Mussina, of course, ended up winning 20 games and then retired at the end of that season, which is amazing.
I remember that game. We were watching it from some other city. We had a game the next night. It was an ESPN Sunday night game.
Yep. Martin Prado leading it off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Home run and a single as he takes strike 1. The base running gap after that single, running up to second base where there was already a Yankee standing there. And Brian McCann at the time. To third and under the glove of Will Middlebrooks into left field. Prado aboard to begin things here in the 7th inning.
Probably goes an error on Middlebrooks down at third base. The ball hit very well, but certainly a playable ground ball for Middlebrooks. Off to his glove side. It's coming up on it too soon.
It is indeed an error. So a pretty tough night tonight for Will Middlebrooks. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts, and now adds an error. There's Chase Headley. Down and in, 2-0. Seven runs, 10 hits, an error for the Red Sox. 3 runs, 5 hits, and no errors for New York. Fly ball foul off to the left out of play. Now don't miss Red Sox first pitch presented by Men's Warehouse, proudly introducing Joseph Aboud. TC and Jim Rice will preview Game 2 pitching matchup between the Sox and the Yankees. It's tomorrow at 6 p.m. on NESN. Headley fouls it back and evens the count at 2-2. Joe Kelly looking for his first win in a Red Sox uniform. Has pitched well enough a couple of times to get a win. The loss that he has was against Houston for the Red Sox, but he's faced St. Louis, Cincinnati, Houston, the loss, Seattle. Last time out at Toronto, 6 innings, 2 runs. Fouled off to the left out of play. last year as a starter for Joe Kelly. Finished the year 9-3, 2.28 earned run average, allowing 2 runs or less in 11 of 15 starts last year for St. Louis. Bouncing in, got away from Ross, but remaining at first was Prado. He was upset with himself that he didn't get a jump on that because he got a good distance away from Ross.
Yeah, Ross trying to backhand that breaking ball in the dirt, and it gets away from him. And Prado, well, maybe after his base running gaff last time, was a little bit nervous over there at first base.
Foul down the first base line. Napoli going after it in foul ground. Full count. Most pitches that Kelly has thrown in a Red Sox uniform is 103. That was at Cincinnati in a 6-inning effort. Here is pitch 101 of his outing tonight. And that is ball 4. First 2 have reached here now for the Yankees in the 7th.
And the walks are coming at the bottom of the batting order right here. Headley walked twice tonight. Cervelli with a walk last time up to bring in a run.
So an error and a walk here. Runners at first and second, and here is Francisco Cervelli to go along with that walk in the 5th inning. Grounded out to short in the 3rd. Ground ball towards shortstop. Slowly hit. Bogarts to second for 1. On to first for 2. And getting taken out was Brock Holt at second base by Headley. They get the double play, and credit Brock Holt for getting rid of that before he got drilled at second.
Yeah, that took an awful lot of courage right there for Brock Holt to be able to turn that double play over, because the ball was not hit very hard at all. And you can tell when that runner is going to be right on top of you. And certainly Headley was right on top of Brock. They turn it over and get 2 big outs.
That'll do it for Joe Kelly with 2 outs here in the 7th inning. A pitching change from Yankee Stadium. 7-3 Boston.
Has the look of a second baseman who knows he's going to get his clock cleaned on the DP. Just the way the ball was hit, it was not that hard. You'd know where the runner is. You could hear him coming. And he knows right now he's going to get taken out. Gets rid of the baseball first, then gets hit. Nice pick at the other end by Napoli. You can just sense it.
Well, Joe Kelly leaving this game responsible for the runner at third base. Upset with himself after the walk that takes him out of the game, gets the double play, and hands the baseball off to Tommy Lane here in the 7th inning with 2 down. 18th appearance for Lane. 1-1 record with a 0.73 earned run average, 9 Ks to 5 walks. Opponent's hitting at 167 against Lane. Jacoby Ellsbury 0 for 3 in the game. That one kind of yanked down and away. Nice play by Ross. Saves a run. Ellsbury tonight has struck out swinging, grounded out to first base, and lined out to shortstop. Oh, it's by him. Yankees have had David Huff up in the pen. He is back up again, the left-hander. Great job by Adam Warren. Retired all 6 batters he faced in this game for New York, 3 by way of the K. Ellsbury hits it in the air to right field. Daniel Nava has plenty of room, and he makes the catch that ends the inning. Yankees leave a runner at third at 7-3 Boston to the end of 7.
Any big league clubhouse today and not seeing one of these K Cancer t-shirts, of course color coordinated depending on what clubhouse you were in. This, of course, the Red Sox version. This is actually an MLB Players Association initiative spearheaded by St. Louis Cardinals reliever Jason Mott. September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month, so of course they're trying to raise funds to strike out cancer. Basically, the premise behind this is you buy one of these shirts, you go to 108stitches.com. A proceed of the benefits goes to Jason Mott's foundation, and a proceed goes to that specific team's foundation. For the Red Sox case, it's Craig Breslow's Strike 3 Foundation. All you got to do is go to 108stitches.com, buy a cool shirt, and you're helping a good cause. I know we got our shirts today, guys.
All right, Gary, thanks very much. We play along to the 8th inning. 7-3. Red Sox have the lead here as Brock Holt leads it off, and he will take ball one. Holt tonight 0 for 4. He's line to left, line to right, grounded out and struck out. Strike call. Didn't appear to be a strike, but it's 1-1. Huff has been warming the last couple of innings and now in the game. His 26th of the year, 3-1. Help NESN by taking a quick 2-minute survey and enter for a chance to win a VIP NESN experience at the ballpark in September. Visit NESN.com/survey during tonight's game for your chance to win. Holt lifts a fly ball to left field. Prado going back to make the catch for the first out of the 8th inning. So an 0 for 5 night for Brock Holt. Here's Mookie Betts. David Huff working in his last game on Saturday and loss in Toronto as part of that. Tossing a scoreless 8th inning. Betts will take a pitch for ball one. David Huff acquired by the Yankees from the Giants. Cash considerations June the 11th. In there for a strike, according to home plate umpire Tim Timmons. Now Betts slides to left. Prado there to make the catch. 2 down. He's handled the first 2 putouts at the top of the 8th inning. Now tune in tonight after our Red Sox coverage in NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. Adam and Jamie will have Tom Brady on Logan Mankins' trade, and Patrice Bergeron talks about the upcoming Bruins season. See what know-how can do. Shift on here for David Ortiz, who has been held hitless tonight. Did get on base though with a walk back in the first inning. Since then he is flied out to left, flied out to center, and struck out swinging. Chaz Rowe, who was up around the 2nd inning of this game, now up in the 8th inning. And just called up today as part of the September call-ups for New York. Ortiz down 0-2. A Cespedes on deck. Red Sox batting here in the top half of the 8th. And a swing and a miss. Ortiz strikes out to end the top of the 8th. 7-3. Red Sox have the lead. Green Mountain Coffee K-Cup packs will keep you running and guarantees to satisfy any fan base. Order by 11:30 a.m. and get free same-day delivery. Who but W.B. Mason? 7-3. Red Sox on top of the Yankees. Derek Jeter to lead it off. Tommy Lane back on the mound for Boston. Jeter has grounded out his second twice, reached on an infield hit last time up, and drove in a run. His 37th RBI of the year. Little pop up into shallow right center as Betts will get there for the first out of the 8th. 1-for-4 showing tonight for Derek Jeter, the first out of the 8th inning.
And Jeter continue to have his struggles. The one hit he had tonight was a ground ball infield hit. Then he hustled out on that first base line, but hasn't really hit a ball hard in this game tonight.
One out for Stephen Drew, his first at bat of the night. Red Gardner was ejected from the game back in the 5th inning, arguing balls and strikes with Tim Timmons. After striking out 3 times in the game, it took exception with that 3rd strike that ended the 5th and threw his helmet and bat and was ejected pretty quickly by Tim Timmons. So Stephen Drew comes in. Martin Prado shifted from the infield to left field, and Drew now playing at second base. Fouls it off, and the count evens at 2-2. Don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings live right after the game. Guys will break down Joe Kelly's start and have John Farrell's post-game comments. You can't go wrong when you buy right at WB Mason. Close pitch called the ball. And a full count. Drew coming to the Yankees from the Red Sox for Kelly Johnson, who has since been traded to the Orioles for Jamal Weeks. Well, the Red Sox in 39 games, Drew hit at just 176. Signed the one-year deal with the Red Sox May the 29th. And he strikes out for out number 2 of the 8th inning. First strikeout for Tommy Lane, 2 down.
Nice pitch there by Lane. 3-2 count, and Drew not expecting the breaking ball at all in that situation. That's exactly what he gets from Lane. Slider right there to put him away. It's one where you just kind of tip your cap.
2 down here in the 8th, and it brings up Mark Teixeira. Turn around to bat from the right side. The lefty Tommy Lane on the mound. Teixeira struck out swinging in the 2nd inning, flied out to the warning track in center in the 4th, and popped out to first base in the 6th inning. The batting average of just .223 to start the night for Mark Teixeira. And there for a strike, 1-1. .232 against left-handed pitching, and nothing for his last 12 against lefties. Shoots it foul, and it's down 1-2. Tonight's attendance at Yankee Stadium, 40,334. 40,334 for game 1 of this 3-game series between the Yankees and Red Sox.
And quite a few empty seats here at the stadium tonight. This was a normal Red Sox Yankee series. this place be banged out all 3 games. But not the case this year.
Sheriff fouling off another. Sheriff almost gets hit. Jumping back out of the way. 2-2. Full count, 3-2. Last saw Tommy Lane yesterday at Tampa Bay, getting the final 2 outs of the 6th inning in relief of Ruby De La Rosa. Faced only 2 batters, Loney and DeJesus, inducing groundouts from both. Now he's into the game here tonight in the 7th inning. And he walks Teixeira with 2 outs here in the 8th. 5th walk tonight allowed by Red Sox pitching. First by Lane. And Carlos Beltran will be next. Beltran has struck out looking, singled to center and scored and walked.
Beltran only a 207 hitter from the right side of the plate. Came into the game 258, hitting left-handed.
Juan Nieves heading out to talk to Lane, who falls behind here 2-0. Red Sox have action. Just getting up is Shinichi Tozawa. Teixeira at first, 2 down. Beltran waiting on a 2-0. And he'll take that for ball 3. Just missed. There's a strike, 3-1. Fouled off by Beltran. Full count. Double-barreled action in the pen. Chaz Rowe has been joined by Sean Kelly. Yankees have already used Ishmael Rogers, Rich Hill, Adam Warren, and David Huff in relief of their starter Shane Green, chased after just 2 2/3 innings. Fly ball to right field. Daniel Knob out there in right. He'll put it away. 8th inning is over. It's 7-3 Red Sox at the end of 8. Ball and Nesson is brought to you by the new Scion TC, Southwest Airlines, and by your New England Audi dealers. Back in New York and Yankee Stadium, former New York Giant Harry Carson in the house, with the Red Sox on top of the Yankees 7-3 into the ninth inning. New pitcher for New York, Chaz Rowe. This season in the minor leagues, 47 games, 3-3 with a 3.66 earned run average, 72 strikeouts to 21 walks. Rowe from Ohio, and formerly sandwich pick, first round pick by Colorado back in 2005. Yoenis Cespedes leading it off here in the ninth. Down the right field line and headed towards the corner. This will get in, a fair ball. Over to play it is Beltran as Cespedes is thinking three. Throw comes in towards third base, and he will get there. Great speed shown there by Cespedes. He threw it into another gear around second base and has a triple to begin things here in the ninth.
Yeah, just good example of what an athlete Cespedes is. I mean, he really put it in an extra gear as he rounded second base to go into third for that triple. He almost got fooled on that swing as he kind of just muscled the ball down that right field line, and then there he goes. No problem getting three bases. So the infield comes in for the Yankees.
Chaz Rowe in his Yankees debut after appearing in 21 games last year with the Diamondbacks with a 4.03 earned run average. He'd strike one over to Mike Napoli. Napoli with a sac fly, a walk, another walk, and a strikeout. His 52nd RBI and the sac fly in the first inning. Napoli to right field. Carlos Beltran going back to make the catch. Cespedes will tag, and he'll score the 8th Boston run of the night. Red Sox take an 8-3 lead. Second sacrifice fly of the night for Napoli.
Had one back in the first inning to drive in a run for the Red Sox. Now one in the ninth. After the Cespedes triple, Napoli lifting the ball to the opposite field for the RBI. Got a couple of walks on the night, strikeout, 2 sacrifice flies, gives him 53 RBIs on the season.
Now the Red Sox moved to third when they scored 4 times, and Nava hit a 3-run home run as part of that third inning. For Nava, his 3rd home run of the year. Now ahead in the count, 2-0. Mike Napoli with 2 RBIs in the game tonight. Now 53 on the year. Rowe falling behind here at 3-0. There's a strike at the top of the zone. Fouled off as Rowe battles back. Full count. Will Middlebrooks waiting on deck with 1 out here in the 9th inning. Tomorrow it'll be Anthony Renato, game 2 of the series, matched up against Hiroki Kuroda, who's 9-8, 3.88 earned run average. Ball 4 to Nava. 1 out walk here in the 9th. Renato still perfect in the major leagues, 3-0, 4.50 earned run average. And then it'll be Brandon Workman in the finale of the series against former Red Sox reliever Chris Capuano. Started the year with Boston and now in the rotation for New York. Well, Middlebrooks twisting out of the way. Ball gets away from Cervelli, and moving up is Daniel Nava.
That'll probably go as a wild pitch. We'll see. Cervelli was set up outside. The ball comes inside, and he's able to get leather on it, but not keep it in the glove. It goes as a pass ball, excuse me, not a wild pitch. And that's probably the correct call. Cervelli should have gloved that.
Rowe falling behind here, 2-0. 0 for 4 tonight for Middlebrooks. 3 strikeouts and a line out to left. A check swing foul. A pitch running in on him. Xander Bogaerts waiting on deck. 1 out. Runner at second base here for Boston. A run already in. Red Sox upping their lead to 8-3. Two and two. Middlebrooks strike shot looking. Second out here of the 9th.
Now it's been a tough night for Will Middlebrooks, to say the least. 0 for 5 in the ball game with 4 strikeouts, an error down at third base. It's the slider that gets him again and just completely freezes him with 2 strikes.
So 2 down. Nava at second base. Xander Bogaerts singled, homered, home run, a solo shot, a double in the 5th. Flat out to left in the 7th. He is a triple shy of hitting for the cycle tonight.
See, the other breaking balls we've seen have not been in that location to Bogaerts tonight. They've been out over the plate.
Preston Claiborne up for the Yankees. Koji Uehara up for Boston. Liner to left. Prado coming in. Won't get there. Gets in for a hit. Nava's going to try and score. Throw is cut off. He will score. And the Red Sox take a 9-3 lead. 4th hit of the night for Xander Bogaerts. Drives in another run, his 2nd of the night, and Boston leads it 9-3.
Well, there's another example, Don, of what we talked about all night long. You know, the breaking ball that stays out over the plate, Bogaerts can handle. But when he starts chasing away, that's when he gets in trouble. And these breaking balls tonight, these sliders have been out over the plate. He's been able to pull them and have a big night. Just saw him chase a bad one in this at bat. Then he gets a good one out with the heart of the plate and jumps on it for the base hit.
Now David Ross. Cervelli heads out to talk to Rowe here. Red Sox grabbing 2 runs here so far in the top half of the 9th inning, expanding their lead to 9-3. David Ross has struck out, walked, struck out again, and flat out to left field. 2-0. Chaz Rowe in his Yankees debut has allowed 2 runs so far in 2/3 of an inning. Three and 0. There's a strike. 3-1. Well, started with a Cespedes triple to begin the inning. Sac fly for Napoli, a walk for Nava, followed by a pass ball. Strikeout of Middlebrooks, an RBI single by Bogarts, 2 runs in. Now Ross will take the walk. The number 9 man walks for the 2nd time tonight. Second walk given up by Rowe. Top of the order, Brock Holt coming up. Holt 0 for 5 in the game from the top spot in the Red Sox order. Guys having some big nights. Mookie Betts with 3 hits in the game. He won a Cespedes 3 hits. Daniel Nava 2 hits. And Xander Bogaerts with 4 hits in the game. Betts, Nava, and Bogaerts all with home runs. One and 1 to Brock Holt. Fouled back. 1-2. Yankees will have McCann, Prado, and Headley scheduled to bat in the 9th inning. 6, 7, and 8. Red Sox now leading by 6 runs. 3rd time of the game that's been the case. They had a 6-0 lead, a 7-1 lead, now 9-3. Vihara continuing to warm. Swing and a miss. Holt strikes out to end the top of the 9th. Red Sox tack on 2 more, take a 9-3 lead to the bottom of the 9th. Been a big night for Mookie Betts as well.
Well, big home run for Mookie Betts, obviously pulling the ball here for a line shot home run to left field. Great defensive play at center field. Goes back, turns, leaps, and makes the catch, going back toward the bullpen area. So a nice night overall for Mookie Betts.
Well, the Red Sox closer in a non-save situation as Koji Uehara into his 60th game of the year, 6-4 with a 2.25 earned run average. 26 out of 30 in save opportunities when it is a save opportunity. And Brian McCann, the first batter. Uehara wanted it, but it is ball one. McCann had a bunt single back in the 5th inning, a 1-for-3 game. Chris Young has come out on deck here for New York to pinch hit for Martin Prado. This is to right field, down the line towards the pole, and that ball is gone. Brian McCann welcomes Uehara into the game with a home run, his 16th of the year.
And one thing that's been hurting Uehara recently has been the split-fingered fastball. It just has not been dipping for him. And I believe that was a splitter right there that just did nothing. Stayed up in the zone, and McCann hooks it for the home run.
Here is Chris Young to pinch hit for Prado. And he'll take strike one. Prado tonight had been 2 for 3 with a home run, a single, and he reached on an error. In there for strike 3. Uehara makes quick work of Young for the first out of the 9th inning.
Now there's a split-fingered fastball for the strikeout right here. Still, it's a little bit elevated, but at least there's some movement on it.
And one down. Chase Headley coming up here for New York. Grounded out to third base in the 3rd. Since then has walked twice. Shift on here for the Red Sox. Middlebrooks comes to the right side of the infield. Holt in short right. To right field and over the shift. Nava tracks it down on the warning track. Headley holds on with a long single. A 1-out single here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Headley's been on base 3 times tonight. Now 2 walks and now the single.
Pitch hitter in Ichiro Suzuki. That's for Francisco Cervelli. Ichiro taking ball 1. Ichiro coming off a great August. He hit .352 in 26 games in August. Wired by the Yankees from Seattle for Danny Farquhar and DJ Mitchell. July of 2012. Down on the count, 1-2. 2-2. Home run allowed by Uehara is the 8th home run that he's given up this season. Foul back to the screen, still 2-2. Ichiro strikes out for the second out of the 9th inning.
It's almost like Ichiro kept looking for a split-fingered fastball and never got one from Uehara. All fastballs and very late swing that time from Ichiro.
Two down for Jacoby Ellsbury, who's been quiet tonight. 0 for 4 in the game, striking out, grounding out, lining out, flying out. Runner takes off for second, and a swing and a miss for strike one. And Ross heading out to talk to Uehara. Outside, 1-1. Two down here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Chase Headley at second base. Ellsbury fouls it back, and it's 1-2. Ryan McCann started the inning with a home run. Chris Young pinch hit and struck out. Chase Headley single. Takes second on defensive indifference, and then Ichiro pinch hits and strikes out. Ball and 2 strikes to Jacoby Ellsbury with 2 down in the 9th. On the ground right side, Brock Holt rounds behind it. His throw is in time, and the Red Sox win. Well, Boston comes into Yankee Stadium and puts up some pretty good offensive numbers. 9 runs and 12 hits in this game to win it 9-4 and take game 1 of the series. We'll step aside and come back with more from Yankee Stadium right after this.